starting out on the right foot. Welcome to the Metaphysical Temple of Self-Improvement. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm your host, Priest Divine. I want to talk to you guys today because I've been having an amazing 2 weeks. And I know a lot of people say all this energy shift and everything going on, but let me tell you something. I have an amazing 2 weeks because I really have been coming across some very, very, very interesting people, very spiritual people, where we exchange information. And I think that's a good conversation when you meet someone and you guys are able to exchange information where you both walk away from the conversation and you're feeling enlightened. Yes. So it's been very spiritual, enlightening for me. I've been leveling up with my energy. Everything's coming together. Manifestations coming together. I can see and feel that like I'm transcending to a different level with myself. And I think that's very important. But tonight I want to talk to you guys about, let me just sit right here real quick. Hey, get the chat going. Okay. I want to really talk to everybody today about third dimension, moving from third dimension to fifth dimension. I think this is very important because we're living in changing times. That's evident. Every day you walk outside, we live in changing time. But let's talk about that because people that are in third dimension, let's get right to it about third dimension. Third dimension is where we're at now. Now, I'm not talking about going into another universe, another place. Your third dimension is your physical being. Let's talk about that. Who you are at this moment, where you're sitting at. Your third dimension is your ego. How you move throughout the day. Do you care what your family think about? Do you care what your boss think about you? Do you care what people on social media think about you? That's third dimension. A lot of us get up day to day, and that's all right because it takes time for some of us to move like that. But a lot of us gets up day to day, and we don't think about our spiritual self. We don't think about who we are in the greater walks of life. That's all third dimension. You go to work, you pay bills, you do stuff for your kids. You don't even look at your spiritual being. You don't look at your health. You don't realize that spiritually you might be dying on the inside. Third dimension, you speaking from a false illusion of yourself. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you just didn't let that person see who you are as a being? As a being, and some people are like, well, I don't like to show people how. No, it's not. You're not speaking from your godly spiritual self. You're speaking from an illusion. Anytime you don't allow people to see you for who you really are, you just show them an illusion. That's third dimension. That's third dimension. You care about what social media have to say about you. You care about what car you drive. Third dimension. And we all are guilty of it. I've been there. And I still battle with certain issues with that, but at least I know that I'm taking the steps to move to the fifth dimension. Third dimension is you struggle with manifestation. Your manifestation is not coming through like they're supposed to. You're doing everything. You're meditating. You're fasting. You might be burning candles. You just can't get your meditation to click. Why? Because your ego got you anchored so far down in 3D, you can't transcend to the next level. You watch the news all day, and I like the news, but sometimes the news will have you start second guessing yourself, who you are. You know what I mean? People I talk to on a daily basis, they can't share who they are spiritually with their family, their own blood, their own blood. And I'm like, well, if you're not sharing with them who you are, now that's up to you if you want to share, but if you're not sharing, let them see you. See, it's not even really sharing, it's about letting people see the real you, the God-centered you, not this matrix version, this avatar of you. Let me tell you something. When you let people see the real you have better relationships. You're able to experience love from a deeper and more passionate level. When you allow people to see the real you. But when you speak from an illusion and you speak from the 3D version of yourself, that conversation was just a manipulative conversation because they didn't see who you really are. And people say, well, how do I do that? How do I go about showing people who I am? First of all, start with some meditation. Look inside. See, find out who you are because you have to know who you are in order to show people who you really are. Two, just be yourself. Be yourself. I talk to people no matter where I'm at, everybody gets spoken the same. I talk from here, from my heart, from my spirit. I have no time for illusions. I have no time for gimmicks. When you start transferring and get on that quest to go to 5G, to the fifth dimension, remember, you're not leaving the universe. You're transcending to a higher spiritual level. 3D is your physical self. 3D, you think about you and only you. 3D, you live in an island. You don't see all of humanity, the collective. And it's funny because sometimes you meet people that are so spiritual, but they only stay within their little pocket or they stay to themselves and they make all the excuses in the world why they can't branch out and help heal the rest of humanity, why they can't branch out and talk to someone that don't share the same views as them. They make all the excuses in the world. And I say, wow, how spiritual are you? If you're stuck in this small bubble, honest, real talk, which I'm transparent. Let me tell you something. When I created some of these groups on Facebook, I used to be up 3 or 4 hours, five sometimes straight through, putting posts, posting, 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 posting. I want to grow the group. I want the group to have high numbers. Posting, 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 posting. Live stream, posting, 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 posting. And I start realizing I'm losing 3 hours a day or more. Then I'm checking to see if people hitting likes. We all been guilty of it. If you're on social media, we all been guilty of it. But you know what? You know what I learned? Because anybody that follow me in the groups, you don't see me that much in certain groups anymore. For spiritual reasons. On my other phone, I deleted Twitter, Instagram, and the only reason I got Facebook up is because I tied my Haps app into Facebook. I want to have real talk with you before we talk about, because this is part of going into 5D. So let me share my story with you while I'm transcending into 5D. I just got tired. I got tired of the social media world. I just got tired of, I put this up and there's like 6,000 people in the group and only got maybe like 100 likes or 40 likes from people. I don't care. I don't care. Malcolm X delivered his message. He didn't count how many people were listening to him when he was talking. Sometimes he spoke on a sidewalk and there was only 5 people listening to him. But let me tell you something. When you have a message that's good, a message about healing, a message about transcending humanity, guess what? If the group don't hit likes, my content is shared in so many other places. If I could just reach 1 or 2 people with my message, that's good. See, that's leaving 3D. I'm not in this for the likes. I'm not in this for the streams. I'm not in this for all this social media glory. I'm not in it for that. I don't even care about that. I have a purpose. I'm sent by the divine, the most high. I have a message to deliver and it will be delivered and it will be heard. 5 years from now, people will see these videos like, wow, this guy was on to that. So I just start deleting social media accounts. You realize how much time you waste on social media, Twitter and stuff. Oh, you got to post this. And, Twitter's a fake world, a very, very fake world. I don't care. I'm going to tell you how disconnected I am from this world that we live in right now. I'm even thinking about going back to a flip phone for my main line. Only time I plan on using my smartphone is to stream. Maybe check some content. But what you will not get from me in 2022, all that posting articles, posting this and that and websites. No. I'm about to go live my world out into the greater universe, be the best version of myself. There's levels to this. And I am spiritually consciously aware that it's time for me to blast off and go to the next level. Me posting all these posts and all these articles on Facebook and these Facebook groups and everything, man, that's 3D level. 5D, 5D is waiting for me to walk through the doors. 5D is saying, come into your true divine being. 5D is saying, I want you to meet your star seeds, your other spiritual mind people. 5D says, social media does not define you, does not make you. Just put the information out there. If it will be, it will be. But the late night hours, gone. Planning, hey, let's do this bit, gone. I'm a free agent in the spiritual world. Matter of fact, if you look at the Facebook group, House of 12 Tribes, you know we switched the name. We have a dope banner now. We switched it to Metaphysical Temple of Self-Improvement. And I know I always introduce myself as Priest Divine. I'm doing away with the priest. I'm doing away with positions of authority. And I see my video stopping. It's like freezing up too. So like I'll probably end up going to come back and do a video on Facebook Live because it haps is acting up, the Wi-Fi going crazy. But like I said, like 5D, you realize you're part of the greater masses. You realize that you're part of a bigger picture. The ego don't matter in 5D. What you wearing in 5D don't matter. What you drive in 5D don't matter. What you fifth, sixth generation of don't matter in 5D. Your ego is gone. You're transcended. You're manifested. All your spiritual gifts is coming to you. Why? Because in 5D, you done let go of 3D, which is your ego and what's been holding you down. And let me tell you something about metaphysical spirituality. Because I realized there's cliques on Facebook. You have your Wiccas, you have your Voodoos, you have your Hoodoos, you have New Age, you have all this stuff. But let me tell you something. Some of that is trends. It comes and goes. People get saved by Christ, now they don't want to deal with it at all. It comes and goes. But metaphysical spirituality, that's why they got degrees in it at college, is something real, something tangible that will help improve your life and take you to the next level. It will have you and introduce you to the better version of yourself. 5D, you're not just worried about your money anymore. Think about that. 3D got us going to work every day. You got people talking about, I'm going to work two jobs. Two jobs? And then you're paying $900 for rent or for mortgage, and you're not even home the majority of the time. 3D society got us brainwashed where you have to go to work just to pay bills. Think about that. We get up every morning, go to work, listen to an annoying, nagging boss that has a broken marriage, probably depressed about their weight, and they come to work to make your life a living hell. You bust your home, you get this paycheck on a Friday, and what you do with your paycheck? You pay a light bill, heat bill, groceries, car note, gas, oil, car insurance, cable, at Netflix, your cell phone bill. We just go to work to pay bills. Pardon me, I got sneeze. Ooh, pardon me. I got sage and everything going off in here. And I'm talking about that because that's how the third dimension got us trapped, where we're just pawns in society. You don't, right now, everybody talking, Mark Zuckerberg will create avatars, fake illusions. We are living in a damn illusion. You come back to your house, by the time you get home, it's 6 in the evening. You got to cook for kids. You got to shower. You're probably going to take a shit. I don't know. By the time you finish washing, relaxing, God forbid if you're in college or you're doing classes like I'm doing, you work on your doctorate, you can't even watch a show and relax. You sleep, wake back up at 4:45. You meditate. If you meditate, you wash your face, you do it again. And 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 I wonder if that lifestyle, this strenuous, crazy lifestyle, is this the cause of cancer and other illnesses in our bodies? This hustle and bustling, never stopping? Fifth dimension says, leave it alone. I'm becoming a minimalist, a comfortable minimalist. Now, don't get me wrong now. You're not going to catch me out here bumming. What I'm talking about is I buy what I need and not what I want. I have my essential. I have transportation. I have communication. I have coats that keep me warm. Pants for this. And if you go in my closet lined up in color combination. My dark jeans is together. My khakis is together. My work clothes are together. My blazers together. Everything is together, like in sections. That's just how I do everything. So then if I don't need something, it's easy for me to look in my closet. If I say this no longer serves my purpose, I pull it out off the hanger and I give it to a homeless person. I don't even give stuff to Goodwill anymore like that. If I see homeless people, I pull up, hey man, you think you fit this? Yeah, thank you so much. I give them a can of food and a coat or some pants or something. Fifth dimension will have you start thinking about other people and not yourself. And to me, I think that's one of the greatest gifts you could give the universe is yourself, where you say, you know what? How can I help move humanity along? How many times have we heard the sayings over the last decade? I got mine, you got to get yours. Oh, well, that's your business. Oh, do you, boo? How many times we heard that? Are you not tired? Don't you want to see your true spiritual self, your true spiritual being? Don't you want to walk into the fifth dimension? And guess what? Even when you get there, you can still slide back into third dimension. But it's harder to slide back into the third dimension because now you got this knowledge, you got this awareness of what 5D looked like. Wow, I'm in this new spiritual realm of myself. I'm in this new realm of there's more to the world than cars, clothes. Did they hit like on social media? Did I read this tarot and oracle card today? Did everybody like my post? There's more to the world than that. You look at your true spiritual self. When the last time you went outside and meditated amongst the stars? When the last time you sat down near a running stream and just looked at the water and noticed the ripples and the current? When the last time you did that? We're caught up in what's the next post? What's the next book everybody should read? I don't even care. I don't even care. At the metaphysical temple of self-improvement, if you want to better yourself, you want to reach new heights of spirituality, not just burning candles, not just looking at spell work. I'm talking about working on you. You know what I mean? People burn candle and they cry every night. They got low self-esteem. They can't manage their own bills. Why? Because you rely on an external aspect to fix your problems when you should be able to fix your problems from within. If all the candles stop being produced tomorrow, there's no tarot cards, there's no spell work. What will happen to you when you have problems? Will you know how to solve your problem? Will you become irrational, very emotional, sporadic? Or will you know how to go within and heal from within? Create healing energy, manifest healing energy from within. Would you be able to know how to do that? If you can't, then you need to come over to the Metaphysical Temple Self-Improvement Group. We have amazing new content that's coming. 5D is waiting on you. The fifth dimension is waiting on you. In the fifth dimension, in order to get there, you also need to watch the food you eat. Fatty foods, greasy food, that weighs you down spiritually. And if you listen to any church elder, anybody tell you, they say, hey, you need to fast to get closer to God. Same thing. Look, man, sometimes I only eat 2 times a day. I'm not up eating past 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I bring whole grain to work with me. I'm not eating fast food. That's 3D. 3D will have you experiencing urges, hunger urges. Well, I got to have that cheeseburger. I got to have that fried chicken. That's 3D. That's your ego talking. That's not even your true spiritual self. Because if you really look at your true spiritual self, it might be telling you, hey, we should fast today. We shouldn't eat at all. Or maybe you should have a salad instead. It's just something for you to look at and think about. 5D, you're drinking more water. Like right in here, agua. More water, less dairy products, less sugars and sweets. See, coming into the age of Aquarius, what makes the age of Aquarius so unique, it does not happen. The change doesn't happen on its own. It's just a stage in our life. What makes the age of Aquarius unique is we have to do the transcending. You have to do the spiritual work on yourself and say, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this rat race. I'm tired of Instagramming. I deleted that. It's just tied to my half apps. When I go live, it goes sits over like that. That's up. But I'm not me in terms of me posting on Instagram. I'm done with that. Me tweeting, done with that. It's just tied to the Haps app. Me post an article, everybody need to read this. I'm done with that. Because when I posted those articles, some people read them, some people didn't. And I start realizing I'm serving Facebook. I'm not serving necessary humanity because I figured I got to get these posts out. I got to get this out. I'm serving Facebook, the monster, the blue god in the sky, Facebook. I became hooked like a heroin addict. But I'm in 5D now, baby. 5D, you just going into 2022. Shout out to my manager, Waleed, because we got some exciting things coming, projects, not just TV shows and movies. Let me tell you something. In fifth dimension, you get podcasts, live streams. Podcasts, live streams. Every now and then, I might put out an article. You might get the Metaphysical Temple book, magazine from out. Bam. If you want to read it, read it. If you don't, you don't. I will provide content, but in terms of posting, you're not getting that from me. There's another world. When you detach from this social media world, you start to think better. You start to think clear. You start to have more time for yourself. You don't care about all this nonsense. You don't care, oh, I only got 30 likes. I mean, I look at stuff like every day they create a new app to distract you. TikTok. People out here TikToking to death. I'm a man of age. I don't have time for that. I really want to be amongst people. And let me tell you something. The Metaphysical Temple of Self-Improvement, one of my projects for 2022, I'm actually working on getting a physical place here in Columbia, South Carolina. Not just over the internet. Yes, I could reach the masses of you guys with this type of content, but we're actually working on getting a physical place. Come into the fifth dimension. Let go of your ego. Stop worrying about what society has to say. See yourself for who you really are. Experience your true spiritual self. Speak from the God-centered person inside. Get out of this egotistical mindset. I'm not going to talk to them people. I'm not going to show them people where I am or who I think about. No, you're manipulating people. You will have less social conflict when you speak from your heart and allow people to see you for who you really are. Some of the methods that you could do, stop thinking about what you're going to say first. Stop thinking about how it's going to sound. Just communicate. Yes, communication and the art of communicate is a science, but some of you make it more difficult than what it is. And then some people are so spiritual to the point that they're bitter. I met some very, very bitter spiritual people on Facebook. I mean, just bitter, always frowning, angry, got something going on. If you're so spiritually inclined, then why you have all these problems? Because you're stuck in 3D. See, the age of Aquarius is trying to push you along to the next level. Say, hey, it's time to transcend. It's time to transcend. There's another level here. I want you to come into another realm of reality. And you keep making the same decisions over and over, burying yourself with bad foods, bad company, your ego telling you something that's not true. So, like I said, there's some name changing that's taking place. On LinkedIn, it will not be Hoodoo Lounge Production, it'll be Metaphysical Temple. We have the Metaphysical Temple in 25 days. The name will be officially changed over. Facebook won't let me change it. Right now it's under House of 12 Tribes, but the banner says, which is a dope banner. And we got some merchandise coming too, because that banner is dope. Tell me it's not. Yeah, we have some name changing stuff that's going around. Hoodoo Lounge will stay Hoodoo Lounge. Ancient Order Mr. Brew stay Ancient Order Mr. Brew. Don't get your draws in a bunch. But there'll be some changing. You know, I'm getting my doctorate degree in metaphysical spirituality with a focus in parapsychology. That's what I'm working on right now. So when I talk to you about metaphysical stuff, trust me, I'm working on my doctorate in it right now. This is a real degree. It's a real study and education. It's just that I share it with you guys from a different perspective and level where you can comprehend it. But we're moving forward. We're all about holistic metaphysical spirituality here. I really want to build a community. I really want to build a community. I really want to get with my star seeds out there and like just build this community where we meditate, we grow our own garden, we live together, we worship together. I really want to build that. I think humanity is craving as a whole for the fifth dimension. I think right now when you see people that's becoming very, very spiritual and religious, that's them going to the fifth dimension. And I'm not telling you what religion to be. You don't have to have one. But when you see, because people are going to gravitate to what makes them feel good. And I'm starting to notice a lot of entertainers is talking real spiritual stuff because look, when you max out and you hit that glass ceiling, what more is there in life? What else there? All right, you got 1,000 likes today. Whoop-de-doo. How do you feel inside? Are you healthy or are you borderline diabetic? You got 5,000 likes. Okay, are you taking care of your health? You taking your vitamins? Are you washing your hair? Are you struggling with alopecia? You got 6,000 likes today. Can you communicate with your loved ones? When the last time y'all sat down at a table and ate a meal with the phones off? I'm telling you that I'm really working on breaking away from all this. And hold on real quick. I just want to show y'all this. Like, and it's funny because if you think about who you are when you was a teenager, and I'm 42, sometime in life we circle back around to the essence of who we are. And I think I'm experiencing that right now with myself in the fifth dimensional world. Like when I was in high school, like I told you, I'm originally from New York. My mom and the family is tied to Arapahoe Lenape. Our cousin was the town councilman of the tribe in Hillburn, New York, and Mahwah, New Jersey. So I grew up with a lot of Native American spirituality. I remember going to the powwows. I remember being in the Arapahoe Mountains, just doing a lot of stuff with the tribe. So I studied a lot of Native American spirituality, and I'm going to do a show because there's elements of it in hoodoo that's obvious, and I'm going to talk about why you see those elements. And I've been pondering and listening to Dave Calloway, and I start thinking, I'm like, the reason we see in elements of Native American spirituality practice amongst the people that practice hoodoo because we're the same damn people. Y'all get caught up in all this. We from Africa stuff, man. Look, I'm gonna do a show about ancestors too and tracing your family tree. You can hold that all you want. I got my family records all the way back to 1600. Ain't nobody from no Africa. There's a lot of mixed blood in us. There's a lot of Native American stuff in us. I got pictures of all my family that are Native American, real pictures. We own the land still for over 110 years. We've been owning our land now, 200 acres. My great grandmother Lumbee from my Pembroke, North Carolina, Robeson County. She was also an Eastern Star. But I say that back to what I'm saying, getting back to bump all that, but back to what I'm saying, like I practiced a lot of Native American spirituality stuff when I was in high school. And it's funny because real Native American, not this new age, because y'all are mixing new age with a lot of spirituality. You mix it with Wicca, you mix it with hoodoo, all this crystals. Native Americans don't deal with crystals. Leave that out of, please, leave that out. If you want to learn Native American spirituality, I'm going to do a show and start talking about that. Because there going to be a lot of elements I incorporate in there. Getting back with nature, one is not just, with the trees, but allowing nature to heal you. That's another sign that you're ready to transcend to the fifth dimension when you start craving nature. When you start craving to be outside with nature. When you have a need to touch the tree, put your hands in a running stream. When your spirit starts telling you, I have to be outside. I need to be outside. And let me tell you something. I live in Columbia here, Columbia, South Carolina. I'm from Rockland County, New York, at the foothill of the mountain. I was like 10 minutes away from Bear Mountain, New York. So I grew up kind of in the foothill of the mountain areas of New York. So I was like 15 minutes from New Jersey, upstate New Jersey, in the mountains, Mawa. Like I said, that's where Ramapo Lenape tribe is at. Shout out to Chief Perry, by the way, too, and my cousin Hamadi Martin. Yeah, when you start craving nature, you're moving to that next level. People that are trapped in 3D, they just stay in the concrete jungle. They stay in their house. There's an excuse all the time why they're not outside. They glued in front of Netflix. Fifth dimension, you're experiencing the universe in all its greatness. If you're in the Carolinas, take a trip to upstate South Carolina or go up to North Carolina. I lived in Johnson City, Tennessee for a while in the mountains. Woo! That's a mountain. Walmart sat off of a cliff and it overlooked the whole entire city, the parking lot. You drive to the inner parking lot, you can see the whole city skyline from there. Everything is mountains. But we need to get back to nature. Because nature is God and God is nature. Like, I'm telling you, I want for you guys to feel what I feel right now. I feel such a euphoric feeling that's going through my body of joy, happiness, releasing. And I want for you guys to feel that. I could get you there. We could all be there because we all have to get there at some point. We all have to get there at some point. Disconnect. You want to stay on Facebook, fine. But if you got a Twitter page, leave that ish alone. Instagram, leave it alone. I don't know all the other ones. TikTok, cock, leave it alone. Start disconnecting. Like, at least here on social media, but if we do a show like this, if you want to come on live, I could click and bring it live. I have no problem bringing somebody on live. Somebody want to talk and share their feeling. All you got to do is click on there and say, hey, I want to come on live. Let's talk. It's that aspect. I want to start sharing is caring. And caring is sharing. I want to start having dialogue with guests. But just don't sit and watch me talk. Like, come in, post a chat. By the way, give me some hearts if you like, what's being said. That's nothing. People still, I ain't giving no heart. I'm not giving no thumbs up. I don't care. I'm more than the person you see on Facebook. I'm just a man that's passionate about what I'm studying for my doctorate degree. I'm a man that loves nature. I'm a man that bonds with nature. I'm a man that knows where I come from. I hear people talk about ancestors all day long on Facebook. I know my ancestors. I know their names. I know their pictures. I know where they was born. I know where they used to live at because we still own a lot of their property. Ain't no Africa. I'm not traveling overseas. I'm not going to allow nobody to name me that. And don't address me as no African American because that's not who I am. How the hell are you going to call me something the people that live on the continent don't call themselves that? That's that Pan-African shit. I know who I am. I know who my mom is, my great grandma is, my big mom. I sat on their laps. I know who my granddad, my uncles are. I know who all my distant cousins. I know where my family come from since the 1600s. Hello. And a lot of them, the majority of us weren't no slaves either. I'm going to do a whole show about the census and how the census, because see, you don't have to be from Africa to be a slave. And I'm going to talk about something real quick too, about something. So you know that slave ship they say they found in Alabama? You know that they have a place called Africa Town, right? This is how Black Americans getting duped about Africa, this whole back to Africa and story and everything with slave ships. Africa Town was not the original name of the town. It was called Plateau something. I'll post it, but it was not the name of the town. That's not the original name. So follow me where I'm going with this. So they changed it to Africa Town, not because there was African people that lived there from Africa. No, they create this whole story. They create Africa Town for a tourist attraction to bring in commerce and revenue. That's right. So the town was not created Africa Town because there were actual Africans who were living there. Matter of fact, like the center, the community center for Africa Town, like the hub, the tourist center, was a damn mobile home. A mobile home that said Africa Town with a sound outside. You don't believe me? Go look it up on YouTube. It was a hoax. They created this whole thing, and they like, so if you over there, oh yeah, we got a place called Africa Town where the last Africa came on, and they lived that bullshit. Bull. That slave ship that they said they found, they didn't even find it in that location. It was found 12 miles up near an island in Alabama. Go look it up. The news showed it. All these ships in the ocean, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, it's a slave ship. I'm not saying maybe a couple of Africans was brought here. Yeah, I do believe that because I watched a documentary with a matter of fact from Alabama. A woman from Alabama, she was like, this was like years ago I watched it. I'm talking about like a decade ago. And she was like one of the last people that remembers like being a slave. And she said, no, as long as I know, we always been here. I never heard anybody on the plantation talking about they came from Africa. But she said, I remember, and the guy said, really? He said, well, what about when they start bringing slaves onto the plantation? She said, I remember when they did bring some people on the plantation one time, they spoke a whole nother language and they was different from us. This is a slave, a descendant of a slave. Like, well, she was an actual slave, and she was like 100 and something plus years old. She was like, they was not the same as us. They didn't look like us. They didn't act like us. They had their own customs, and she was like, they was definitely totally different than the other slaves that's been on the plantation. The whole out of Africa theory, the whole story about out of Africa, that was actually created by a German. Boaz, it was his name. Look it up. I'll give you the receipts. I'm working on my doctorate degree. I do research. I don't put false information out there. The term African American came about in the early 1980s by Jesse Jackson and the Boule. Before that, we were Afro American. He did it for political purposes because he was running for president at the time. A lot of young guys don't know that, but like I said, I'm a man of age. I remember when he was running for president. So the term African American is basically created for social political clout. It's not a real group of people. You can't take an airplane to Africa America. I don't have not one person in my family, no elder. I don't remember hearing my grandma, my great grandmother ever say anything, or my grandfather talking about Africa. They always said something about Native American. They said something about being black or somebody white in our family, but they never said nothing about Africa. You got to start in 5D. You define who you are. You define who you are. All this African thing. Hey, why is the Nigerians and stuff, all these people in Africa never even heard about hundreds of thousands of people, millions, almost millions of people taken from Africa and brought over here? Why didn't they come back to get us? If that's where we're really from. I say I can only speak for my family. I got my family book back there in the room, which I'm going to show for the next episode, dating all the way back to names, the towns they're from, Santee, Manning, all this stuff. Man, look, we tribal people. Even the Gullah Geechee, they're listed as a tribe on the internet. Did you know that? You had Gullah Geechee Indians. Did you know that? My grandma always had a saying, what's in you always comes out of you. I know the spiritual path that I've been on tells who I am because my DNA is tied to my culture. And my culture is tied to my DNA. That's why whatever I do spiritually, I always circle right back around to the same thing. I'm in tune with the seasons. I'm in tune with the trees. That's how my grandfather raised me, which was half Lumbee. My mom and them always taught me how to respect animals. Yeah, we hunt. Yeah, because we own farmland. That's what you do when you hunt. You grow a crop and you hunt. That's what you do. You live off the land. Everybody was talking about living off the land. No, I really lived off the land. I drove tractors. I picked crop in the hot ass heat. It's a lot easier said than done. But those that talk, I want to live off the land. Yeah, you're not gonna get out there in that Georgia heat at 12 in the afternoon. It's 105 degrees and pick tomatoes. I want to see you do that. Some of y'all, we can't even get out the damn house. I'm not gonna let nobody define me. African American is not who I am. I even got my family tribe look closely to the letter. They go my tattoos and stuff. Let me see here. If y'all can see the other one. Where is? Oh, I got so many damn tattoos. So I had. Let me tell you something. I had this here since 1995. It was my first tattoo. I always had tribal stuff on me. You know, I always had tribal stuff on me. Watch Dane Calloway if you ain't watched him. I posted something in the Hoodoo Lounge group one of the video. Matter of fact, talking about Africa Town in Alabama. Go ahead and watch it. Learn something. Learn something. You can't be out here claiming other folks' stuff and claiming some continent way across the water, and you ain't never been there, and you wonder why these people don't communicate with you. They don't have a connection with you. Your bones is right here. I can't. That's all I can tell you. Your bones is here. If you start doing research and going to the library and looking up your family and everything, and by the way, please don't go get no damn bullshit DNA test. Then you cannot tell what tribe somebody's from by swiping their spit or their jawline. That's ridiculous, and it has been scientifically unproven. And they found out that one of them guys was just making shit up. Oprah here talking about she's part of Zulu. And they asked the guy, he said, I never told her that. She lied and made that up when she opened up that school in South Africa. See, that's that flim flam that our people be on. That flim flam. And let me tell you something. If you keep talking about you not from here and I'm over African, this and that, you wonder why these migrants is about to get what, $50,000 or 100 something $1,000? These Mexican immigrants that coming over here illegally. Biden's about to give them 100 something $1,000. Your black behind can't get reparations. Why? Because you trying to tie yourself to other continents overseas. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Not your culture. You don't know a damn thing about. They dropped you off. You couldn't speak the language. You don't know the religion or nothing. They don't want to see your divestment wig on. Biden getting ready to give the illegal migrant, talking about the Trump administration was so cruel to them that if they suffer any type of hardship, they could get $50,000. Where's our reparation? Motherfucker, we suffered hardship for over 400 plus years. I think the last 2-3 years been some damn hardship for us. They was wasting us in the damn street. But you over here, oh, my ancestor Africa, okay, you're not on code, sweetie. You're not on code. And they love when y'all talk that Africans talk. So you know what they never tell you go back to Africa, they tell you to go to Africa because they know you're not from Africa. There's a difference. I used to work for the census, for the government. Let me teach you a little something. School you kiddies tonight. Tell a little something out here. Have some tea talk. I'm going to spill all the tea. That's what y'all say, right? In the 1800s, 1700s, they would send racist census members down south, unregulated by the government. Now, Back then, the term Native American didn't exist. So when people talk about, oh, I was Native this and that, Native of, term Native American didn't come about to 1970 something. The term Native American meant a white European that was already here. If you watch the movie Gangs of New York, that's why the term was tossed around a lot. Native. He's a native. We're natives. They just got here, made fun of the Irish and everybody else. It had nothing to do with an Indian. If you look at old photos of Native Americans, they all was dark skinned, melanated, with Negroid features, right? Right? So what you see today with all this light skin and white looking, those are $5 Indians. Those are Europeans portraying to be Indians. On the census, if you had a family member, I'm talking about your great grandmother or somebody that's Indian, which we really are Aboriginals, because Black Americans have been in this country longer than anybody. We the only ones that fought in every single war in this country. Facts. Facts. So anyway, so with my complexion, they might say Negroid, or they might even say Negro or mix or something. Well, Negro or mix or whatever. But if somebody in my household really, really high yellow, light skin, curly hair, hazel eyes, they will label them Indian. They'll label somebody else another thing. And I say that all of them can have the same parents. Same parents. This is what the census did. That's why it's hard for you to find sometimes what your family members was, because the census came down and went in a household and they just looked at color and just start naming everybody a different race in the damn house. But they're the same people. That's why you'd be like, oh, my great grandmama was an Indian. Okay, but how is it that your great grandmama was an Indian? What was your great grandfather? He was the same damn thing. But the census, so he might have been some shade darker, same person, and they'll say, oh, matter of fact, he might even have more Indian than your great grandmama. Because all Indians were not light skinned people. Indians back, if you go to a cigar shop, go to a cigar shop and look at an Indian statue, the Indian cigars. Why they all dark skinned? Look up pictures in the 1500s of paintings of Aboriginal Americans. They were dark skinned in the painting photo with curly hair, short curly afros. Well, if they were light skinned, blonde hair, and all this other stuff, then why didn't they paint them that way? Because in the picture you saw them amongst white people, and the white people look white in the photo, and a white man obviously painted that, not a black person. So why did the Indian in the picture resemble black people? Let me tell you something about culture and your DNA and your mind retrieving your ancestry. If you ever look at black people celebrating, having celebrations and stuff, why is that we celebrate things with a lot of feathers involved? We use a lot of smoke, herbs. If you look at the West Indian Day Parade or anything like that in New York or Caribbean, you see a lot of the women wearing feathers and dancing. Same thing with our people. You see that back in the 1920s, our female dancers used to dance in the 1920s to have feathers and be dancing on the stage doing a little, all that stuff. Think about that. That's not native to Africa. Africa don't use feathers in their rituals and them standing up and all that stuff. They don't use that. Why we have a lot of like indigenous, aboriginal, native aboriginal stuff in us? Why we didn't go back and pull what the Africans did or are doing? Because that's not who we are. I read so many books about the people that was here first. And that's another reason why the census constantly change who we are every 20 or 30 years. You was colored, you was Negro, you was Afro American, then you were black, and then you African American. They changed us more times than any other group in this country. Because there's a reason. They trying to hide something from you. They're trying to hide something from you. Hide who you are. You know they never stop you from claiming Africa. They want you to do that. Go back to Africa. That's right. Get out of here. Get out of Atlanta. Let us take that back. Get out of here. Go to Africa. They don't say go back to Africa. They say go to Africa. See, because they know you're not from there. Why they don't tell you to go back? Hello. Ooh, I'm speaking some facts tonight. Probably going over some of y'all head because y'all ain't ready for that type of truth. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Start working on yourself. It's a process. It's a journey, but make the effort. Come into 5D. Come into your true divine spiritual self. This is the time to elevate. We're waiting. Make sure you join the Metaphysical Temple of Self-Improvement Facebook group, by the way. Awesome content. Awesome content. You want to live a better life? You want to be empowered? You want to be in control? You don't want to be a victim? You don't want to rely on outside influence for a crutch? You want to empower who you are? Metaphysical Temple of Self-Improvement. And I'll be coming back with my new spiritual name soon. Priest Divine will only be used during ritual purposes, but after the day, no. I'm checking out. I'm clocking out of 3D. I'm not participating in this game. I'm not participating in all this nonsense. I'm out. I'll see y'all soon.